Okay, once again, good evening, students, and a warm welcome to the fifth day webinar. And it has been a wonderful webinar for past 4 sections, and we have gone through different bases of vaccination development and how the vaccination has evolved. And as I told, today we are also discussing an important thing. Okay, this was a continuation of the last section. So last section I told you that vaccination is an body and the soul of the vaccination lies in the immune system, right? Soul of the vaccination lies in the immune system, right? So today we are going to highlight this immune system. So once I will briefly summarize the last section what we have covered, right? So within the last section we have seen about the immunity and the types of immunity, and we have found that there are two types of immunity, and they are innate immunity and adaptive immunity. As I told you, innate means from the birth. Okay, that immunity started from the birth, and we have discussed how this innate immunity has developed and the types of innate immunity. Okay, so types of innate immunity, there are different types of innate immunity. We have discussed that biological barriers, okay, chemical barriers, these are all things we have discussed, right? And today we are going into the next stage of immunity, okay, that is adaptive immunity, right, or acquired immunity. So adaptive means this is not from the birth. Okay, you can know that by the word itself, this immunity is not from the birth. Okay, it will be arrived. We can have next slide, madam. Okay, so this is innate immunity and adaptive immunity, and this adaptive, next one, this adaptive immunity. Yeah, see, yesterday we have completed all this whole portion. What is innate? Okay, how skin barriers are there, mucosal barriers. We have discussed what is the external defense, what are the internal defenses, and today we are going to mainly highlight on acquired immunity, right? Adaptive immunity. In acquired immunity, there are again two types. Okay, and coming into nomenclature also, this is also called as specific immunity. Okay, it is specific. See, this innate immunity was a generalized one, but this was a specific immunity. It is very specific, right? In its action, the action it is using, it is very specific. Okay, and coming into this acquired immunity or adaptive immunity, it is again divided into two types, that is cell-mediated immunity and humoral immunity, right? So this aspect is very important, and it is a key roller to understand how these things will happen, right? I will have next slide. Yeah, so now you can students, you can get a doubt that, sir, there is already one immunity called innate immunity, then why again there should be another type of immunity? Why adaptive immunity? Why there should be a first line immunity and again a second line immunity, or why there should be a non-specific immunity and again a specific immunity, right? So so we will just look on to that, why this there are types of immunities, right? So why adaptive immunity is that? So we will highlight on this. So as I told, innate immunity is not specific one. Okay, it is not specific one. It is a generalized one. It is not specific. And see, it will treat all the pathogens as same. See, pathogens are or not same. There are microbes coming into category of bacteria were there, virus were there, okay, protozoans are there, helminthes were there. So there are different types of pathogens, but this innate immunity will treat all these pathogens, or it will try to kill all these pathogens in a similar manner. Okay, so it is not specific to the pathogen. So that is one drawback of innate immunity. So only we should need adaptive immunity or acquired immunity. Why? Because it is very specific. Okay, next one is, see, coming into regulation. Okay, coming into its regulation. Yeah, we can have the previous slide of this. Yeah, poor regulation is there. We will explain all these points. So see, the control mechanisms are very weak in the adaptive immunity. What happens? See, when a pathogen is recognized by innate immunity, it's just kill. Okay, it will try to kill. Okay, and it will not yellow or store the memory, or it will not see if the same infection is again according to the innate immunity, again it has to start again. But in adaptive immunity, this history of this pathogen is noted, so the regulation is very high, and there will be poor amplification. Okay, see, there are no multiple cells in innate immunity. Only the macrophages, basophils, and killer cells will act. Okay, there is no three layered protection was not there. But in adaptive immunity, you will get this. Okay, next one is, another important thing is, in innate immunity there is no specificity. Means, see, recognition of self and non-self. This is a very important point. Everyone should remember. This has so much of significance. See, when a pathogen enters inside, first role of your WBC immune cell is to recognize whether it is self cell, our own cell, or pathogen cell. So this is the first quality every immune cell should have. It should first recognize whether the pathogen is, whether the cell they are going to attack is a pathogen origin or an our own cell. This is called self-recognition, self or self-recognition. See, in innate immunity, this rule was not much practiced. Okay, there was a failure in this rule. Okay, where what happens in innate immunity, the cells of innate immunity cannot differentiate between the self and non-self cells. Okay, there is one lack of discrimination. Okay, that is one failure in the innate immunity. Next, see, innate immunity is lost for only for small duration, and it doesn't have any memory. Okay, so it doesn't store the information of the pathogen. See, as we discussed one example yesterday, see, if an antisocial element entered into a city, okay, the first in local home guard or some constable saw him, he will just fight with him. Okay, but if the same information was given to higher authorities, what they will do? They will record this information. Okay, they will record the information. Someone please unmute, ma. So they will record this information, and they will use it for further data. Okay, so same thing, it will be happen in your adaptive immunity. In adaptive immunity, the cells, the pathogen history was recorded and it is stored, so it will be easy for them to eradicate, right? Okay, Next, we will see how this immunity, okay, how this adaptive immunity works. Okay, so this adaptive immunity works by two methods, right? There are two methods how it will work. So it is classified into two types. So you can have next slide. Yeah, good. So types of adaptive immunity, it is mainly divided into two types. So they are cell-mediated immunity and humoral immunity. Okay, so we are having cell-mediated immunity, humoral immunity. Clear? So you should be very aware of these names. So this name speaks much thing about that. Okay, about the mechanism involved in that. So the first name was cell-mediated immunity, and the second was humoral immunity. So other names we can directly tell. So today, in this webinar, mainly we will concentrate on this cell-mediated immunity. Okay, humoral immunity, we will be looking after this tomorrow in a cleared how an antigen is produced, how it will be attacked. These are all issues we will address tomorrow. Okay, now we will directly highlight on this cell-mediated immunity. Okay, so coming into cell-mediated immunity, see, the main key rollers in the cell-mediated immunity are T lymphocytes. Okay, T lymphocytes are the key rollers in this cell-mediated immunity. So cell-mediated immunity is mainly it got that name because mainly the cells are directly involving in this. Okay, see, but in humoral immunity, what happens? There the cells will directly not go and attack the pathogen, but they will produce antibodies. Okay, antibodies will go and attack the pathogen, but in cell mediated, these cells will directly themselves will go. Clear? So in adaptive immunity, the key rollers are T cells and B cells. You should not forget the key rollers for adaptive immunity are T cells and B cells, right? So the T cells mainly are responsible for cell-mediated immunity, and the B cells are mainly responsible for the humoral immunity, right? Okay, so now we are discussing about cell-mediated immunity. The name itself signifies as it is a cell-mediated, means it is by cells. Okay, so what are the key cells here? They are T cells. Okay, so T cells. So T cells are mainly involved. Okay, and another cells that are also playing a secondary role, which will be like helping aids in this are along with T cells are macrophages, natural killer cells. Okay, and these cells also will facilitate this T cells for producing acquired cell-mediated immunity, right? So please be clear. Today we are seeing adaptive immunity or acquired immunity. In these two types are the cell-mediated and humoral. Right? So now we are concentrating today on cell-mediated. Okay. So in cell-mediated, who are the key play rollers? T cells, right? And other helping cells are there along with them. They are macrophages and natural killer cells. Okay, so these cells are involved only, so it got the name as cell-mediated immunity. Okay, so what is the major role? Okay, this major role are fighting the infections. Okay, after the innate immunity, the next level is cell-mediated immunity. Okay, so this is second line of defense. Here our pathogen infections are fought. Okay, directly with the T cells. Your T cells will fight for this Okay, and who are the key rollers involved here are T lymphocytes. Okay, you should not forget that. Okay, so now another, so we will see what are the T lymphocytes available. Okay, now we can have next slide. Next one. Types of T cells. Okay, see, based upon the work they do in this, their T cells are classified as T helper cell, T cytotoxic cells, then you are having T memory cells, T suppressor cells, natural killer cells. Okay, natural killer T cells and T gamma delta cells. Okay, see, mainly CD4 and CD8, you should remember. So, see, generally these T cells are synthesized in the thymus and lymph. Okay, and they will be stored. Okay, please listen carefully. The T cells and B cells are synthesized in the lymph and thymus. Okay, lymph nodes, and they were stored there. Initially, the cells are called Navi cells. Okay, they are not activated. They are not phagocytic cells, or they are not immune cells. They are just matured T cells, and they are in inactive state. So all these T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, when they are inactive, they are called as Navi cells. Okay. See, when a pathogen enters inside, okay, so this information will be given to this T cells, right? This information will be given to the T cells, and then T cells will react to this information or this information. So whenever a pathogen enters, okay, this will be recognized and will be reported to this T cells. Up to then, the T cells are in inactive form or in Navi form. Then these T cells will start proliferating. Okay, and then they will differentiate. Okay, so then if for example there are 10 T cells, 3 of them will become T helper cells. Some of them will become T cytotoxic cells. Some cells will become T memory cells. Some cells will become as T suppressor cells. Some cells will become as natural killer cells. This is called differentiation of T cells. Okay, so the T cells will be differentiated when a pathogen information is presented to the T cell. Clear? So in this cell mediated immunity, this is very important aspect where you should concentrate. Okay, so two things are there. Two things to be noted is very important: how antigen is presented and how T cells reacted to it, right? So first thing we will discuss how this T cells. So coming into T cells, first the T cells are in Navi form. So when they got the information that there is a pathogen, okay, when an information is presented to them, then they will get proliferated or differentiated. They will different. This is very important. They are differentiated into helper cells, cytotoxic cells, memory cells, and regulatories. For example, see, for example, a terrorist attack was there on the city. Okay, you see there will be the differentiation of the troops. See, some of the military men will go at dog squad. Some will go as bomb decomposers or diffusers, and some will go as protecting the people, and some will be clearing that area. See, there will be differentiation. No, same way. When an information comes to the T cells will get prepared by proliferation. Okay, there will be departmental dividing. See how beautiful this cell-mediated immunity works. Okay, they are very intelligent. Okay, whenever pathogen information is given, immediately the differentiation will start. Some of them will become the helper cells, some of them will become the cytotoxic cells, some of them will become memory cells, and some of them will become suppressor cells, some will become natural killer cells, right? So this the main key and most major 90% of the differentiation will be from CD4 cells and CD8 cells, right? So that is one important area. So the first thing that happens in cell-mediated immunity is that there will be proliferation and differentiation of the T cells. After that, I told that information will be presented. Okay, antigen information will be presented. Who will tell this? See, all these T cells are sitting somewhere in the lymph or thymus. Okay, how the information reached them? Okay, for that purpose, they are having the cells called as antigen-presenting cells, right? So this is another area where you should concentrate. Antigen-presenting cell. Okay, now first we will discuss what is antigen. Okay, see, and now today how we are identified. See, you are having some names. People will identify with that names. Okay, they will call you some X or Y with your names. Then how to identify the cells, whether they are from self cells or whether they are from non-self. Okay, by looking into the antigen presented on them. See, every cell will have an antenna-like antigen present in their cell memory. Okay, see how beautiful this will do, no? What this antigen presenting cells will do, these antigen present cells will go and kill the pathogen. Okay, and they will take the antigen from them. Okay, and they will put them on that information on their cell memory. Okay, for example, in olden days, the kings used to kill the enemy and carry his head, or they will bring his the most famous films also in Bahubali. If the villain was dead, he should catch his head. Same way, our anti-presenting cells, what they will do, they will kill the enemy. Okay, and they will pick out his information. Okay, antigen protein, and they will keep it on its surface. Okay, and nicely they will go and they will present it to the T cells. Okay, now I will synchronize these ones. See, first of all, a pathogen came. Okay, and our immunity and our innate immunity acted there. Okay, so
वो सर की क्लास में वो वेबिनार हम लोग को हम देख.
So what happened? These cells are there, no? This antigen, the pathogen will kill that cell. Okay, or the macrophages will kill that cell, and these macrophages will present that information. Okay, to T cells. This is a stepwise process. So when innate immunity fail, and innate immunity observed that there are so many lot of pathogens and they cannot act on that, immediately they will give the report to the head office. Okay, that is T cells. Who will give that report means antigen presenting cells. See, for example, as I told, and policeman was there in the local area, and constable was there. Okay, and he identified a big terrorist came into that area, but he has no force and power to defend them. So immediately what he will tell the head office the information. Okay, so and so terrorist came. He was he was like this tall, and they were around 100 men here with RDX, with so much of weapons they were there, lethal weapons were there with them. This information he will give to the head office. So the head office will react according to it. Same way, when our macrophages, when they faced pathogen and they found that if pathogen is not eradicated, immediately they will change into antigen presenting cells. Okay, some of these antigen presenting cells are macrophages, dendritic cells, and okay. So yesterday we saw the monocytes only will develop into macrophages and dendritic cells. So ఈ antigen presenting cells అన్ని చోట్ల ఉంటాయి. Okay, see the different names are there. See, for example, in liver, the macrophages are called puffer cells, and in the brain they are called glial cells. Like that, macrophages are present in all organs. So whenever a pathogen comes there, they will recognize and immediately they will note all the information of that pathogen, and they will rush towards the T lymphocyte and they will present the information. So only they are called antigen presenting cells. So what is the information they present means they will give the antigen. Then the T cell will understand all the code in the antigen. In the antigen, there will be code. Okay, how that pathogen is there. Genetic code of the pathogen is hidden in the antigen. Okay, so immediately your T lymphocyte will understand this. Will understand this, and your T lymphocyte will tell the army of T lymphocytes to proliferate. Then some of the cells will become CD8 cells, CD4 cells, some cells will be killer cells. See, this is one you can see onto the slide. Okay, see, antigen, first of all, in first step, the green color one is a pathogen. See, then the pathogen enter, it is engulfed, okay, and pathogen is killed, and its antigen means its genetic matter is taken, and the antigen is presented, okay, and antigen is presented to the T cells. Okay, so these cells are called APCS cells, antigen presenting cells, right? So these antigen presenting cells are also very important in the role of cell mediated immunity. Okay, so now how this antigen is presented to T cells, right? How this information is presented. Okay, so how this information is presented means there are a separate proteins called as major histocompatibility complex, or we will call this as MHCs. Okay, and in humans it is called as human leukocyte antigen, HLA. Okay, but in many books it is written as MHC complexes only. Okay, now we will see what are these MHC complexes. Okay, so what are these MHC complexes, how they will act, we will see. See, be very clear in the concept. So if you think I am an pathogen, okay, and then I have encountered with an I am an macrophage. Okay, I had encountered with the pathogen, and I found that that pathogen was coronavirus. Okay, so I will get all the information, the antigen from it. Now I should tell the T cells. Why? Because I am not able to fight with them. So immediately I should tell this matter to the T cell. Okay, so how I will communicate means I will encode all this matter, and I will convert it into an complex called major histocompatibility complex. Okay, so what is major histocompatibility complex means? It is a molecular, okay, short arm of chromosome. It is a code, genetic code, we can say, like it is made up of genes. Okay, and the information mainly it contains is information about antigen. Okay, so so I will collect all the information about coronavirus since I am a macrophage, and I will encode this into the language what the T cell will understand, like a flag. Okay, and I will put it on top of my head. Okay, then that complex is called MHC complexes. See, even the normal cells are also having MHC complexes. Why MHC complexes should be presented? Because this is very important aspect. See, every lymphocyte should have two characters, as I told. See, it should differentiate between self and non-self. Next one is it should kill pathogen. See, it should not kill our own cells. That is a very important thing. So how this lymphocyte will identify it is an self cell or non-self cell? Otherwise, it is an pathogen or an host cell. How it will identify? It will identify mainly based on MHC complexes. See, all our cells will have MHC complexes which are related to us. Clear? See, now if a person X is there, he is having MHC complex. If person Y is there, he will have different MHC complexes. మీరు అందుకే చూడండి, organ transplantation అప్పుడు what is the problem during organ transplantation? Rejection will happen. Why rejection will happen? MHCs will not allow. See, if some other organ is kept in your body, immediately your phagocytes will think that is a foreign cell, and T lymphocytes will come there and they will kill. That's why only rejection factor will be there in the tissue transplantation or organ transplant. So only they will use immune suppressants at the time. Okay, so every individual will have his own MHC complexes on the cell. So these MHC complexes represents your own cell. Okay, but when pathogen came, what our cells will do? They will isolate the antigen from them and they will change the MHC and they will highlight the MHC of the pathogen. Okay, and they will submit it to the T lymphocytes. Clear? See, for example, if local police are there, he will study all about the terrorists. He will put all his information, what is his family history, which group they belong, and what are the crimes they have done. All this information they'll put in the file and they will give to the head office. Okay, so this information is called MHC or major histocompatibility. Same way, your antigen presenting cells will present the pathogen to the T lymphocytes. So there are two classes of MHC complexes, class 1 and class 2. So class 1 is mainly responsible for endogenous, endo means inside, endogenous antigens. So when endogenous antigen entered inside of our host, they will kill that and they will present the MHC class. Then based on the MHC, our cells, our T lymphocytes will identify whether it is a foreign or self, right? And there is another class of MHC called class 2 MHCs. These are mainly responsible of presenting of exogenous antigens. Okay, you know what is the difference between endogenous? Endo means inside, exo means from outside. Okay, so when the pathogen is inside, it will be presented by MHC class 1. If the pathogen is outside, it is presented by MHC2 class, right? This is called MHCs, right? So how one pathogen is presenting, you should know. Okay, so pathogen presenting cells will present the pathogen. How they will present? They will present with the help of MHC complexes, right? So we will once again discuss what are the events, how these T lymphocytes are activated. Okay, so first what happened? T cells will recognize the antigen and displace on the surface. Okay, they are called T cell receptors. Okay, then this will be compared with the MHCs. Okay, what I told up to now, how they will act, this was presented in its slide, and the diagram is also is there. Okay, we can go through that. Okay, so I also tell that this T lymphocytes are differentiated into different cells. Okay, so what are the cells they are differentiated is, the first cell is T helper cells. These are also called CD4 cells. Okay, so how these CD4 cells will act? Okay, what these CD4 cells will do? See, these CD4 cells are cytotoxic cells. Okay, they will directly go and attack the pathogen and they will kill. See, the information will be presented, and the information, after taking the information, the T cells will have the information with them. What is that? In that it will given a red, the pathogen has word and red cap. Okay, a red cap ఏంటంటే MHC complex. So ప్రతి pathogen cell మీద ఏముంటదంటే MHC complex with red cap ఉంటదన్నమాట. That is the identification. So your T helper cells, CD4 cells, these are very fast cells. Okay, so immediately they will react, they will proliferate into so many. See, when if pathogen came in hundreds, this will proliferate in 500s, and the information they will take, and they will go very fast into your blood circulation, and they will search for the NHC complex of the pathogen. And in any on the cell, if on any cell, if there is, see, ఈ బ్యాక్టీరియా వైరస్ ఏం చేస్తాయమ్మా, ఈ బ్లడ్ లో ఫ్రీగా ఉండవు. అవేం చేస్తాయంటే మన ఓన్ సెల్స్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతాయి. They will hide in our own cells. Then our cells, what they will do? They will replace our own MHC cells with MHC of pathogen, telling that enemy is hiding in my home. Then your CD4 cells will directly go and kill that cell, right? So this is what happens in your body. So once again I'm summarizing. There will be a pathogen. This will be eaten out by the macrophage, and the information of the pathogen is taken, and this information is kept within the cell, and MHC complexes will be highlighted. Now your T CD4 cell will come, CD4 and CD8. Okay, and they will look for the I disconnected. Okay, am I audible? Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir. You are audible. You can continue.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, right. Okay, so the MHCs
Sir,
will be.
It's not so clear. So.
Yeah. Okay, there will be network issues from your side also. Please.
Sir, it's me.
No, sir. I can.
Sir, you can continue. Please don't talk
Yeah,
anyone.
Okay, so when MHCs are presented, then your lymphocytes will start killing them. Okay, now I told there will be differentiation, no? So you can have next slide. Next slide, madam. Okay, see, T cells are divided into mainly into T killer cells. Okay, they are CD4s and CD8s, and T helper cells and T memory cells. Okay, T helper cells ఏం చేస్తాయంటమ్మా, they will mainly they will help, or they will give the information to the B cells. Okay, so only they are called T helper cells. Then T killer cells ఏం చేస్తాయి? These were very important. What these T killer cells will do, these T killer cells are direct acting cells, CD4 and CD8. They will directly go and kill the pathogen. And another cells are there, T memory cells. These are another important cells. What these cells will do, no? These cells will store the memory, okay, for future use. Okay, they will take all the information and they will store all this record of these criminals and pathogens, and they will store. Okay, and they will also help if the infection is relapsed, then the memories again, this and all story will be not there. What differentiation, proliferation, highlighting of MHC, these and all will be not there. Once pathogen came, the T memory cells will record all the activities of the pathogen and they will store it back in the server. Okay, so once pathogen again, if it is relapsed, immediately the T memory cells will give the information until killer cells will directly go and kill. Right? And another type of T cells are there. They are T suppressor cells. Okay, so what these T suppressor cells do, this will protect this will not allow to hamper. Okay, if see while killing, our own cells also may be hampered. Okay, so the suppressor cells, T suppressor cell will suppress the activity. Right? They will suppress the activity. Next slide. Okay. See here, before slide, you can see the role of T1 and T helper cells. Then this is the role of cytotoxic cell. Okay, so see, these are T helper cells there. You see now. So how T helper cells will fight. Next one is T are cytotoxic cells, CD4 and CD8 cells. What these cells will do, they will directly go and kill. Right? And the next cells are T memory cells. Okay, as I told, these T memory cells will store the information. T suppressor cells are there. These T suppressor cells will suppress the immune system. Okay, they will not, they will control, they are the rate limiting control step. They will control your phagocytosis process. Right? Clear. So this is how cell mediated immunity works in your body. Right? Okay, so today we discussed about this cell mediated immunity. So who are the key rollers in cell mediated immunity? T lymphocytes. Okay, see, two things you should understand very clearly here, that T lymphocytes has to play double-edged portion. Okay, the first thing is that they should identify the pathogen correctly, right? And the second thing is that they should kill the pathogen. Okay, very specifically. Why? Because it should not kill its own cell. It should definitely kill the pathogen. So they are very perfect. They will never do the mistake. They will exactly identify the pathogen and they will kill. So this is only it is called specific immunity. Okay, how they will kill, I told. So how they will do this job? The first thing is identifying self and non-self. This they will do with the help of antigen-presenting cells. Okay, so macrophages, dendrocytes will present the antigen and they will process this antigen into MHC complex. But this MHC complex is a very big concept. Okay, lot of studies are being done on these MHC complexes. Okay, and this is very wonderful study. Okay, see whenever a pathogen comes inside, if the pathogen is inside the cell, MHC1 will display the board telling that pathogen is inside me, please kill myself, please kill me. And if the pathogen is outside the cell, the nearby dendritic cells will identify it and they will tell, they will display, next slide, they will display MHC2 complexes telling that nearby me there is an enemy, destroy him. So like this, cell mediated immunity will work by T cells. And I have already told how the T cells are differentiated and how they will work. Okay, so the T cells are differentiated into T helper cells, T cytotoxic T helper cells and CD4. Another name for this is CD4 cells. Then cytotoxic cells, they are called CD8 cells. Then you are having T memory cells. Then we are having T suppressor cells and NKT cells, that are natural killer T cells. Okay, so these are different cells. So why this is called cell mediated immunity means cells are directly going and acting and killing the pathogen. So they are called cell mediated. Okay, and another important, what is the another type of immunity? It is humoral immunity. So tomorrow class, so today we saw about adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity is in two types. It is humoral and cell mediated. So today we have studied about cell mediated and how T lymphocytes work. Tomorrow section we will see how humoral response will work. See, humoral is still more advanced. Okay, here the information is given to the policemen, and policemen divided into different teams, and they went like CD4, CD8 cytotoxic cells, and they killed the pathogen. See, but humoral is more advanced. What they will do, they will identify the pathogen and they will sit in the head office only, and they will prepare antibodies against them, and they will send the antibodies. They will not come. Okay, so what are the main cells in humoral system means B lymphocytes. Okay, B lymphocytes will not come directly and fight. Like a robo movie, they will synthesize small robots and they will send them for the war. That particles are called antibodies. Okay, so humoral, another name for humoral immunity is antibody mediated immunity, cell mediated immunity and antibody immunity. So tomorrow we will see how B lymphocytes synthesizes antibodies and different types of antibodies and how they will work. Clear? Okay, for this today we'll close this section. If you have any queries, please ask. Tomorrow we will continue with humoral immunity, and the next sections we will have the methods for development of types of vaccines and their methods of development.
Sir, one more question from the student.
Yeah.
Sir, what will happen if MHC number is more and it gets matches when organ transplantation occurs?
Yes. See, actually, MHC will be same for a person. Okay. See, if you take a cell from the kidney of a person and a cell from the heart of a person, and if you check for the MHC, it will be exactly same. Okay, like DNA only, it will be exactly same. Okay, you asked during transplantation, no? So this is a big issue during transplantation. Andike, you see, no, during transplantation they will ask organ should be given by very near person. If he is an relative or if he is from the same blood, it will be very easy. Okay, that's why only donor is first checked. What they will check the donor means whether there is any rejection factor. If there is rejection factor, they will not do the transplantation. I think you are very familiar with these words that the kidney did not match with him, so only transplantation stopped. What they are checking there exactly, they are checking about MHC complexes. Okay, if the rejection range is very low, what these people will do, no, they will use immunosuppressants. Doctors will use the immunosuppressants, and these immunosuppressants will decrease the level of T cells. Okay, so when T cells level is decreased, there will be less rejection. Okay, so they can do the surgery, and the surgery will be successful, right? There are immunosuppressant drugs in the market now, which will help, but not in all cases. Okay, if the rejection percentage is very less only, they will be helpful.
Sir, one more question. Sir, what will happen if antigen fails to recognize the cell?
Yeah, actually, there is no chance of failing. If it fails, okay, if it fails, then that persons are called immunocompressed persons or immunocompromised persons. Okay, generally, your immune cells will not fail. Okay, if they fail, solely we are having such a lot of first defense, second defense, third defense. Okay, you tell if the cell mediated is failed, then it will humoral will take in charge. Okay, if innate fail, then humoral will act, cell mediated will be activated. If cell mediated also will fail, then humoral will activate. But what is the difference means innate is very fast, cell mediated and humoral will take time. Okay, they should understand the pathogen, then the MHCs will be produced, then they will antibodies will develop. It takes some time, so it is slow process. Okay, see, there is no question of not identifying. If it is not identified, then the person is having some problem with immunity. They are called as immune compromised persons. Okay.
Anyone having any queries, please students respond. Students, anyone having any queries, please respond. Anyone having any queries, please respond. Otherwise, we'll close the section. Feedback link has given in the
Excuse me,
chat
sir.
box.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
So what will happen, sir, if memory cells of cell-mediated immunity gets damaged or affected?
Memory cells are not a single cell. Okay, see, memory cells will store the information. Okay, and if the memory cells fail, okay, what happens? The cell mediated immunity will be repeated once again. Okay, again the pathogen will be identified, again the MHC will be identified, and then the memory cells will store it. Okay,
Sir,
see,
if memory cells it gets affected, then if the data will be erased or will be remain same, sir?
no, the pathogen data will be not there. Okay, so the cell mediated immunity will start once again. So that's not a big issue. Again, the cell immunity will start. If the stored immune response already, if the memory cells were there, it will be very easy. Okay, the response will be very fast. See, for example, if you got some infection today, it will, if the memory cells are not there, the immune cells will act in 3 days and you will be cured. If the memory cells are there, within 1.5 days, you will be cured. That is the significance. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Tell me.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, tell me, immunity acts in organ transplantation, no, sir? Actually, cell-mediated immunity
Yeah.
will in organ. Sir, now government is telling all people to take vaccines. So what about these organ transplant patients, sir? Now the cell mediated we will take that immunosuppressants and all.
Yeah.
Their immunity is reduced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when
good
we take
question.
vaccine also, sir.
Yeah, good
Immunity-
question. See, the
No, sir.
persons who are taking the medication with immunosuppressants are not supposed to take vaccine. They're not supposed to take vaccine. After the issue is, they has to
Oh,
stop
okay,
that therapy, or after the therapy is stopped only, they have to continue, or they have to take the vaccine. They're not supposed to take the vaccine.
Okay.
Students, anyone having any queries? Please respond. And main announcement, రేపు ఎల్లుండి క్లాస్ లేదమ్మా, మళ్ళీ మండే. Saturday and Sunday is holiday. Again on Monday we'll have the class at 4 p.m.
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్. సార్ ఇప్పుడు మార్కెట్లో కోవాక్సిన్ వచ్చింది, కోవిషీల్డ్ వచ్చింది. కోవాక్సిన్ అనేది మనకు నార్మల్ గా అటెన్యూటెడ్ వ్యాక్సిన్. నెక్స్ట్ కోవిషీల్డ్ అండ్ ఆస్ట్రాజెస్టర్ వ్యాక్సిన్ ఉన్నాయి కదా సార్, అది వైరస్ వెక్టర్ వ్యాక్సిన్స్ కదా సార్. ఆ వైరస్ వెక్టర్ వ్యాక్సిన్స్ మెకానిజం ఒకసారి ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారు సార్ మాకు.
Yeah, okay, ma. See, actually, last section I will deal about exclusively about herd immunity. In the last section, webinar lo herd immunity gurinchi cheppanu. At the time, I want to share about this Covaxin and this one also. Okay. See, next coming classes anni away. Development of vaccine only. I will tell the techniques how vaccines are developed. Okay. And there are 5 classes of vaccines. Okay, we will discuss at that time. Okay, actually this is a lengthy one. Okay, I will note down your question and I will, in that section, I will clarify you, right? And I will highlight the differences between Covaxin and Covishield also, right?
సార్ గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్.
Yeah.
సార్ వ్యాక్సినేషన్ తీసుకున్న తర్వాత ఫీవర్ అవి వస్తున్నాయి కదా సార్, ఎందుకు సార్ అట్లా?
It is your immune system is responsive. Okay, see, one of the way how immune system will respond is by inflammation. Okay, see, for example, you got a wound in your hand. What will happen first day? The bleeding will stop and healing will start. Who started that healing? All your WBCs will rush there and they will produce, they will heal the wound there. Same way, when some virus enter inside, okay, so vaccine is an attenuated virus, but your body will think it is an original virus and all your WBCs will run over there. Okay, and they will cause inflammation there. So the signs of, what are the signs of inflammation? Fever and body ache. So these two will be produced. Okay, so you should not be worried about this. If these two symptoms are there, it is indication that your immune system is responding.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
Sir, could you tell the difference between a pandemic and an epidemic?
Yeah. So what is epidemic means? If an epidemic is limited to a particular area, for example, to a continent or to a country or a group of islands, then it is called epidemic. Okay. If it is worldwide scenario, then it is called pandemic. See, if the location was specified, it is called epidemic. If a location was not specified and if it is on the worldwide, then it is called pandemic. Actually, pandemic is superior than epidemic. Okay.
Hello, Sumanta garu.
Yeah.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు ట్రాన్స్ప్లాంటేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్గన్స్ అది చెప్పారు కదా, మ్యాచ్ అవ్వాలి అని.
Yes.
సో ఆ కేసులో ఒక చిన్న ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటంటే, ఐ ఫౌండ్ మై సీనియర్ హూ ఈస్ స్టడింగ్ ఇన్ 10th క్లాస్. తనకి కిడ్నీ ట్రాన్స్ప్లాంటేషన్ జరిగింది అప్పుడు.
Okay.
So we are not aware of anything. We are so small. He is senior to us, and tanu sudden ga after transplantation tarvata వాళ్ళ father kidney transplant చేశారు తనకి. Suddenly he started going bare and all heavy ga అయిపోయి, and అంటే age factor will make a change in the thing of the person. అంటే తను కిడ్నీ ట్రాన్స్ప్లాంటేషన్ చేసినంత మాత్రాన తనకున్నవన్నీ ఇన్హిబిట్ అయిపోయి వాళ్ళ father కున్నవన్నీ ప్రొజెక్ట్ అయినాయి అక్కడ. సో అది ఎందువల్ల అంటారు?
Yes, madam. What you're telling, age factor may be one thing. And see, actually, I think that in that scenario, the rejection factor was not exactly seen. Okay. I think that the physician thought that since his father only, no, so it will match to him. Maybe the mistake will be somewhere. See, even if the sometimes father's kidney and also will show the rejection factor, it is not sure that immediate parents will be our genetical. See, when you are having your genotype, 60% you will have from your grandparents, only 40% from your parents genotype. So I think in the case what you highlighted, there is a rejection factor. Rejection factor may be there, and they have, see, actually this comparing of MHC rejection is a very costly and tedious process. Okay. So only transplantation lo ekku money ayedi transplantation kanna finding out the rejection. Okay. See, many doctors will identify this rejection factor. See, actually, for identifying these rejection factors also, they will do a small surgery before. Okay. They will take a small part of the muscle and they will check the rejection factor. Okay. But I think in this scenario, they has not done that. So only things happen.
Yeah, might be that the reason. The కొన్నాళ్ళు ఉన్న తర్వాత అబ్బాయి సడన్ గా ఈ చేంజెస్ అన్ని వచ్చిన తర్వాత he left, I mean చచ్చిపోయారు.
Maybe it may be because of rejection factor.
ఓకే. అంటే శాంపిల్ గా మనకి సూట్ అయినా కూడా ఇవన్నీ కూడా రిజెక్షన్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ లో పోతాయి అన్నమాట. సో దే వోంట్.
Yes, sure.
థాంక్యూ సార్.
సార్ ఇప్పుడు మ్యామ్ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగారు కదా సార్, వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్ కిడ్నీ వచ్చి ఆ పర్సన్ కి ట్రాన్స్ప్లాంట్ చేస్తారని. వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్ ఆర్గాన్ సైజ్ ప్లస్ ఈ పర్సన్ ఆర్గాన్ సైజ్ డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి అలా కూడా జరిగి ఉండొచ్చు కదా సార్. అండ్ వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్ వచ్చి ఆ కిడ్నీ, వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్ ఆల్కహాలిక్ ఉండొచ్చు, ఆ కిడ్నీలో ఏమైనా చేంజెస్, ఫిజియలాజికల్ చేంజెస్?
Maybe yes, it may, see, it will change from person to person, but we are confined to our study about immunology. So if there is rejection with the MHC only, we are discussing, but what you told, it may be a reason. Okay, but see, okay, what happens. See, for example, fracture. What happens in the fracture when the bone is broken? Doctor will not feel that bone. He will just keep the bone side and he will freeze it. After few days, the bone itself will mingle. Okay. Same way, sometimes the grafting also will work out. Okay. But if the rejection factor is there, surely they will not work.
Okay. Okay, sir. సార్ ఇంకొకటి సార్, ఇప్పుడు నార్మల్ గా గ్రాఫ్ట్ ట్రాన్స్ప్లాంటేషన్ ఎప్పుడు పేషెంట్ కి స్టిరాయిడ్స్ అనేది ఇస్తా ఉంటారు కదా సార్, అలాగే లైఫ్ టైం స్టిరాయిడ్స్ ఇస్తా ఉంటే ఇమ్యూనిటీ అనేది పేషెంట్ తగ్గిపోతూ ఉంటది కదా సార్. అటువంటి పేషెంట్స్ కి వ్యాక్సినేషన్ ఇవ్వకూడదు. నెక్స్ట్ అటువంటి పేషెంట్స్ కి వ్యాక్సినేషన్ ఇవ్వకుండా ఈ కరోనా నుండి ఎలా కాపాడగలుగుతాం సార్?
Actually, steroids will have so many side effects. Okay, so when a person is with steroidal therapy, vaccination is not preferred. He should withdraw from the therapy and then only take the vaccination.
సార్, వ్యాక్సిన్ వేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఫీవర్ వస్తే మంచిదా, రాకుండా ఉన్నా మంచిదా?
See, some persons the symptoms will be shown, in some persons the symptoms are shown, but if the fever, if mild fever was there, it is good. It is an indication that immune system is working.
Students.
Sir?
Yeah, Srikaran.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, many people are reporting side effects with Covishield, but why not with Covaxin, sir? Actually,
Actually, we
so many
we
people.
will discuss this. We will discuss this in the last section. Okay, last section I will tell the methods of how Covaxin is prepared and how Covishield is prepared, and we will discuss its benefits. Okay, like a case study, we will do this. I will highlight this in that section. Okay, after that section, still if you are having some queries, surely we will discuss.
Okay, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, you can.
గ్రాఫ్ రిజెక్షన్ పర్సన్ లైఫ్ లాంగ్ మెడిసిన్ యూస్ చేస్తూనే ఉండాలని చెప్తారు కదా సార్, ఎందుకని అలా?
It is not compulsory, okay, but most of that is based upon age factor. See, if the age is above 50, rejection factor may be very high. Okay, so at that time they should use the medications lifelong. It is not for all, but it is mainly depend upon the age of the patient.
ఓకే సార్.
సో అప్పుడే ఒక పర్సన్ అడిగారు కదా సార్, కోవిషీల్డ్ వల్ల ఎక్కువ సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ వస్తున్నాయని. కోవిషీల్డ్ అనేది వైరస్ వ్యాక్సిన్ కదా సార్, mRNA తో పాటు వేరే వైరస్ ని కూడా మనం మన బాడీలో ఇంజెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం. దాని వల్ల ఏమైనా సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ వస్తున్నాయా, లేకపోతే ఏమైనా ప్రాసెస్ ఉందా సార్ దానికి?
Yeah, we will speak that. I will discuss that.
Okay, sir.
Actually, I don't have any queries like this. See, vaccine is safe. It is proved. It is 90% efficacy. Okay, so there won't be any other particles in it. It is purely attenuated one only. Okay, there are, but why means, see, I am telling there will be genotypic factors and there will be phenotypic factors which will help them, which will affect them. So I will discuss these things.
హలో సార్.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. రేపు ఎల్లుండి సెలవమ్మా, ముందే చెప్తున్నాను. అగైన్ విల్ మీట్ ఆన్ మండే. ఓకే, ఇవాళ వరకు జరిగిన క్లాసెస్ ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి. ఆన్ మండే విల్ మీట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. స్టే అట్ హోమ్, బీ సేఫ్. Bye bye.